I never thought that everything that I went through, as far as studying manifestation and getting sober and trying to focus on being a positive person, I never knew that it was preparing me for the situation that I was going to be in today. And in these years, I'm glad that I was born in this time space reality. I'm glad and happy for my father and my mother, and I'm happy that I'm in a position to be able to take care of her and to support her, because I never knew that the roles would switch, as far as going from her raising me in a fatherless home and taking care of me, and anything that I wanted, I got, and just really being supportive of my career. And I never thought that it would turn around and I would have to support her in her battle with cancer. And I also want to thank my cousins who came in and helped and support me and support my mother. It's just amazing to be able to be in this position, as far as having that support and having that love from them, because they've come in and they've done a really amazing job as far as supplying and supporting and everything that you could ever imagine. They've done it. So I'm thankful for that. But this whole thing started several years ago when my mom was diagnosed with uterine cancer. And it was really weird, because my daughter knew about it and my ex knew about it, and no one said a word to me as far as what was going on. And I think at that time, and I know at that time, I was not as strong, and not as I was really sensitive at that time. And I don't think I would have been able to handle it if I concentrated on the enormity of it, just how big everything was. But I remember my mother telling me, she was around 87 at this time, she's like, I need you to pick me up from the hospital. I'm having this little procedure done. And I'm thinking, okay. So she tells me the date, and I go to work. I do my regular thing, and my ex, she kept trying to throw hints and tell me different things and let me know what was going on. And it was just hard for me to receive the information. But needless to say, she let me know that I needed to go out to the hospital. And it was the day that I was supposed to be picking my mother up from the hospital. So I called relatives, because I'm thinking this is really serious. So I called my cousins and everything like that, and go out to the hospital. And my mom's laying there in the bed and everything, and they've done the procedure, and it was just it was an aggressive cancer, from my understanding. It ravaged everything as far as in that area, and they ended up taking everything, taking the uterus, taking the fallopian tubes and the ovaries and everything like that. And for some context with this, that cancer runs in my family. My grandmother had it. My daughter, she had some abnormal cells on her cervix that had to be removed. And thank God she had the wherewithal to be like, yeah, I got to get this taken care of. And I have a relative that literally did a full-on hysterectomy because she wanted to avoid that cancer diagnosis. So she just got rid of everything before any of the cancer was even diagnosed in her. And so at the hospital, they did the surgery and everything like that. And my mother, she wakes up and she sees everyone in the room, and she wasn't expecting it. And then they kept her for a few days. So what I would do is I would sleep there and then leave, and then I would go to work. Then I would come back. And my mother's a very, very, very strong woman. So after she was released, she had to do radiation, and she had to do some shots, some injections in her stomach. So she would drive herself to radiation every day. And mind you, this is an 87-year-old woman. She's driving herself to the radiation and all of that stuff. And it was weird because I remember when it was like the first night she was home, and I probably should have stayed there. But I go home and I had a feeling. I said, she fell. And sure enough, she was getting out of the shower, and she had literally fallen out of the shower. But she didn't damage anything. She didn't break anything. So that happened. And she didn't complete all of the treatments because of it was a couple of things. She said she didn't like the way that they were treating her when she was getting treatments. And so after that, we didn't have any issues or anything like that. And so several years passed, and we started having some digestive problems that arose. And I kept thinking, I was sitting next to my mother, and I'm thinking, and I'm like, I'm wondering, is it stomach cancer? Is it, because it's just something that just in my mind and my spirit, it just didn't feel right. I'm like, something's wrong here. But I didn't say a word. And she kept having different bowel problems and digestional problems. She had a lot of gas, and she had a lot of loose stools and different things like that. And this would carry on for quite some time before diagnosis was made. And I think in my mother's mind, I think she knew something else was going on, but she wasn't being specific with the doctors as far as telling them, hey, this is what's going on. She would refer to it as she had gas. And I kept telling my mom, I'm like, you have to literally go in there. You have to tell them that you're having loose stools and you're having incontinence problems. You can't hold on to this. So needless to say, it things progressed, but it was just a long, slow churning of her going and not being specific. But I wanted to just put this video out, and because something just in my mind was just like, go ahead and do this video, because I might need it for my own sanity. But I just never knew that, you know, I would be sober and still sober and dealing with this situation, and coming through it and being able to be, I'm glad that I'm able to be supportive and be there for my mother. And if it wasn't for me being sober, I don't know where I would be. Because this would just not, I wouldn't be able to process it. And I wouldn't have the clarity to to really just take on the enormity of this situation. So if anyone is going through where they are fighting through their sobriety or trying to stay sober, just know that you have to dig your heels in, and the fight is not over. It's just not over. So I just wanted to come and let everyone know that, because it's I have more that I have to reveal as far as how this progressed and where we are today with this situation. So that is all that I wanted to say, and just stay strong, stay positive, and just keep the faith in this situation. Just keep the faith in the situation. Peace.